So that's the technique, and it's being used to bring in the microchip population. And the big stepping stone to that is the cashless society. Coins and bits of paper might not seem to be a great defender of freedom, but they are for this reason. If you go into a shop now, or a garage or whatever, and you hand over cashless money, electronic money, a credit card, they put it through that machine. And they say sometimes, oh, I'm ever so sorry, the computer won't accept your card. And if you've paid the bill, you might be a bit surprised, but you've got an alternative at the moment. So you say, oh, well, okay, I'll have to check that out. Okay, I'll pay cash. What happens when there's no cash and that computer says no to electronic money, your credit card or the microchip that is planned to replace it? Suddenly, the computer is deciding, or whoever programs it, what, where, and if you purchase. That's the idea. And if there's one thing in all this that is most important to reject, in my humble opinion, it is microchipping of people, because the implications are enormous. Some electronics people who've seen this sort of thing emerging have started to speak out. I've been reading some stuff by a guy in America called Carl Sanders, an electronics wizard. And he's pointing out that, in fact, he's talking himself about his own experience of attending meetings in America and Europe, attended by Henry Kissinger and the CIA, into microchipping of people. Not, is it right, is it moral, but how do we get them to accept it? And as he points out, once people are microchipped, it's not just messages going from the microchip to the computer that should concern us, it's what's coming the other way. According to him, they can create, through this means, mass hysteria, mass depression, in other words, manipulate our emotions, and isolate one microchipping one person. I got some idea of the possibilities when I realized how Sky Television works. You know, this satellite television network we have in Britain. Well, if you want to join the Sky network thing, okay, you send your money off or whatever, and they send you a card. And it's programmed to descramble the channels you've paid for. Very straightforward. But if you want more channels than you've paid for once you've got the card, you would think, well, I did anyway, that you would send them more money and they'd send you another card programmed to descramble the channels you want added to it. No, no. What you do is you pick up the phone and you ring their number. It's in Scotland, I think. And they say, okay, what channel do you? Oh, I'll have that second movie channel, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah. And they say, okay, put your television on the channel that you want. All fuzz, scrambled. So while you're still on the phone, they say, okay, just tell me what's happening to your screen. Only the channel appearing before your eyes, that's all. So I thought, how do they do that? I heard about it, gave them a ring. How do you do that? What they do is they send out a signal from this central, what do you call it, technology, I guess, and it goes to every decoder linked to the Sky system, but only your card with your number on it picks it up, it reprograms the card to take the new channel, and it comes up before your eyes. When you think there are two types of science in the world, there's the one that is taught in the universities and appears on the television, and there's another one that is light years ahead, secret science. What they can actually do compared with what we see they can do with things like the Sky Television example are vastly, vastly advanced. I read a book called The Robot's Rebellion, and I talked about this microchip population idea. And I've even been surprised by the speed of it. I turned on the BBC a few months ago, and whether you saw this, it was funny. Tomorrow's World, you know the science program on the BBC? They had this item on microchipped people, see. What they said was, there's this problem with health records. I thought something must be done then, I suppose. The problem apparently, was that they don't keep health records for long enough. So they're suggesting microchipping people with their health records to overcome this problem. Now, I never went to university, but I can actually see a solution to the problem of not keeping health records for long enough. Keep them longer. There you go. Let's all go and have a cup of tea. That's sorted out. No, that's too simple. We've got to microchip people. The other thing they said was that doctors would like to have access to medical records if people have an accident. So microchip them. So, takes things on. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, my mother was always saying to me, "You have clean underpants on now, Dave, you might have an accident." You ever get some of that? Yeah. My mother's worst nightmare was not me having an accident so much as me having an accident with dirty underpants on. That was her worst nightmare. But all these years later, we've moved into the modern world. Now it's, you make sure you're microchipped, Dave, you might have an accident. Anyway, in this item, and I checked the date, it wasn't April Fool's Day or anything like that, they had this woman who had had an operation and had been microchipped with her medical records. "Oh, it's ever so convenient," she said. I'm eating the cushion in the front room by now, you know. And then what happens, you know, in the supermarkets, they got that thing they put across the barcode. Doctor walks into shop with one of them, rubs it up her front. Up on the screen comes this woman's medical records. I thought, I'm going to wake up in a minute here, you know. But at the end of the item came the key little clip, not very long, by the managing director of the company that's produced the technology, the microchip. "This is just the start," he says. "We can put on this chip medical records, financial records, passport details, social security details, prison record, the flipping lot." Exactly. That is the idea. And it's been moving along unmolested for a very long time, because its great power is secrecy. And when you think that so much of the mainstream media is controlled by the very force that wishes to bring it about, it's not surprising that so little of it has come out. But I feel we're now in a time of enormous change, a great jump in human evolution. And therefore, an energy of change is bringing this stuff to the surface. And its secrecy, its great power, is being unveiled.